You done now?
And this is Brad Gilmore here, ESPN Radio. We got a very special guest on the line right now. He's going to be performing tonight and tomorrow in Austin, Texas at the Creek in the Cave. Couple of stand-up shows. The legend himself, Mr. Jeremy Piven, joins us right now. How's it going, Jeremy?
It's going great, man. I'm doing a little pregame warm-up as we speak, you know.
What's the ritual? What's the ritual before the show? What do you do? What do you do to get into that mindset?
You know what? A lot of crack cocaine. It's unorthodox. It's kind of a throwback to the Dallas Cowboys in the 80s. No, I don't even know why I went there.
Hey, whatever works for you. Look, I'm not here to judge. Like, if it works for you, go for it. You know what I mean? If it gets you to that level.
Yes, sir. No, I don't know why I took a shot at the Dallas Cowboys. There's no need to do that. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm doing a little cold plunge. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to jump into some incredibly cold water and then jump in the sauna, write some jokes, hit the creek in the cake. I'm going to creek in my cake. I'm going to hit the ground running. I listen. Austin has some of the. I'm not just saying it. Some of the best audiences in the world. People are they come out. They're having fun. They're ready to laugh.
Yeah, man. I mean, well, you're a recent now Austin transplant. Like you're there a lot. You moved to Texas. How's Texas treating Jeremy Piven thus far? I mean, Austin's kind of like LA South in a way, right?
You know, there aren't a lot of Jewish cowboys out here. I think I might be the first. You know, I could be like Bucky Goldstein. You know, it's going well. It's going really well, man. People. Listen, you know, there are people, I don't tell people that I came in from LA because people don't want their California in their Texas.
Right.
And so there's a bit of friction, but I love it here. And I've been coming here for years and it's great.
Yeah, Austin's got such a great vibe and it's such a great comedy scene right now. I mean, I feel like half of the talented comedians in LA have all moved down to Austin, Texas, and there's so many comedy clubs popping up there. I mean, what's kind of been the overall, though, vibe? Like, why was Austin the place you wanted to go?
Well, I'd always gone to Cap City, and that was like my favorite room in the country. And a lot of comics love to play it. And I think Rogan being one of them. And, you know, during the pandemic, we were all trying to figure out where to go. And there was a mass exodus out of LA, and a lot of people just, listen, Austin has got, especially if you love to be outside and be a part of nature and you enjoy great restaurants, and it's just an amazing town. And yes, it has now become kind of the comedy hub of the country. You got great clubs, even like the Vulcan over on Dirty 6th Street that have opened up and they crush it every night.
Yeah, no, man. I mean, it really has. It has become such a comedy capital. And for you, I mean, right now, you're doing a lot of stand-up. I know you're still doing films and you're acting all the time. I think, didn't you just rap on a film not too long ago?
I did. I'm lucky enough to bounce back and forth, literally and figuratively. Speaking of bouncing, I just broke 8 ribs filming my dream project called The Performance, which is an adaptation of an Arthur Miller piece. And I was doing my own stunts, which is weird because I'm Jewish. And I thought I was Tom Arnold. I thought I was Tom Cruise, and apparently I'm Tom Arnold. I'm ruining my own punchlines. If you come to the Creek in the Cave tonight or tomorrow, I will be better. I'm 116% funnier in person than on this call right now. I guarantee you.
That's scientific fact, 116%. I like the accuracy of it. But, you know, let me ask you this, though. Because obviously people know you from your acting career. I mean, Larry Sanders, even your early stuff on Seinfeld, which I feel like doesn't ever get brought up enough. Like, I feel like people don't talk about Jeremy Piven on Seinfeld.
You know, it's one of those things where at the time I was a kid and I was working on the Larry Sanders show, and I didn't even have a TV, so I'd never seen Seinfeld. And they asked me to audition. I auditioned to play George Costanza when they filmed the pilot of that show. And I knew Jason Alexander from The Lot because I was already on another show. And I had never seen Seinfeld and auditioned to play an existing character. So I did my Jason Alexander impersonation, and they thought I was a huge fan of the show, and I'd never seen it. Don't tell anyone.
Man, and then, I mean, let me ask you, because, like, back in the, I mean, late 80s, really mid-late 80s, into the 90s somewhat, I mean, Johnny Carson was kind of still the kingmaker of comedians, but I think that Seinfeld, the show, like, if you got a role on Seinfeld, then so many other doors opened up. Next thing you know, you're going to be, doing the guest star on Jake and the Fat Man and things like that. Like, did that open a lot of doors for you, or was Larry Sanders really more of your pathway forward as far as the acting goes?
It opened no doors whatsoever. Yeah. To give you an idea of my career, I won the Fresh Face of the Year award at 37 years old. That's a true story. And I accepted my award, and I said, there's nothing fresh about my face. At 37, I was, doing Entourage, and I was 30 years into my career. And it's just one of those things where I wouldn't have it any other way. You just got to have patience. And if you want something, you'll stick with it. And, it's an incredibly tough profession that weeds through the people that don't really want it, because it's not easy, and it's a lot of rejection, and it's just all part of the journey.
Yeah, man. I mean, you have to kind of get used to that, which really, though, I'm sure in some ways the auditioning process, even if this wasn't something that you thought about, but like the auditioning process, I'm sure kind of helps you for stand-up comedy, right? Getting kind of no reactions from people at times, kind of trying to figure out what connects best with an audience as far as interpreting the material that you've written, right? I mean, there's some kind of parallel there.
Well, totally. I mean, the performance aspect of it is where it begins, and then you're the singer songwriter. You're not just playing the songs that have been written by someone else. You're writing all your own material. So, yeah, it's been a blast, and you learn. I mean, you take your lumps, and I've been doing about 250 shows a year just to prepare for the Creek in the Cave tonight.
Right,
just
absolutely.
to prepare
exclusively for the Creek in the Cave on this day of April in 2022.
Indeed, there is a large stuffed bear on the stage that I'm moving, and they've been kind enough to let me move it because I'm bringing a band in, and then when I'm done performing, we're going to play some music. So it's just going to be madness. Get your tickets now. Yeah,
get your tickets now for the Creek in the Cave. He'll be there. He being Jeremy Piven, the man himself, tonight and tomorrow. You brought up Entourage just real quick. Like when you come out on the stage, I heard Chris Rock talk about, you get maybe 2 minutes, even somebody like him, you get 2 minutes of the courtesy laugh, right? Like, oh my God, It's Chris Rock. He's here. This is exciting. I'm sure you have a similar reaction because people the world around love you for your portrayal of Ari Gold on Entourage for all those years. Do you find that audiences, are like that? Like you get like a couple of minutes, and then if you're not bringing the funny, they're out?
It's not even a couple of minutes. It's maybe 30 seconds.
Right.
And I love it because it's a place where you have to earn it, and it's real, and it happens in real time, and I love that. You brought them in because you made a connection. I made a connection with them through films and TV, and now I have to make them laugh, and I love that. I love that, it's not you're on tape delay and the movie comes out a year later. Right away, is it hitting or is it not? And I personally think that it's thrilling. So. Moving forward, to me, it's immediate gratification, or you take your lumps and you regroup and you figure out how to, you can, at any moment that you're losing, you can win the next moment. So it's fun. I'm loving it.
Yeah. There was just stories going around about the late, great Gilbert Gottfried of how, he would tell a joke and start bombing and then be able to pull that audience all the way back by the end of the set and have them rolling laughing. I mean, it's just one of those rare art forms, because even in a play, you can't really do that because you have to stick to the script. So if the audience is bored by the story, there's nothing you can really do by the end of the play to get them involved, but you can in stand-up comedy.
Yeah, for sure. And there's so many different tricks to it. And then you learn all these tricks and you throw it all away. And people have been great to me. I've been studying the game and and yeah, you go off script, you do your thing, and then you kind of give the people what they want. They're coming, they want to see a little Ari Gold. I give them a little of that because I used to run lines with my mom, if you can believe it. So everything I've said is Ari Gold. I said to my mom's face. So I give them a little taste of what that was like. Joyce Piven heard everything Ari ever said. I mean, you can imagine just me yelling at my mom. It was but she's been my acting teacher, so it wasn't just awkward. It was actually fantastic.
Well, I mean, of course, everyone knows your family's pedigree as far as acting goes, and your mom even appears in a couple episodes of Entourage, right? I think that at least one, right?
She was in one episode. I actually just finished a movie with her called The Walk, which is about the dismantling of segregation in Boston in 1974. She was running lines with me, and she really enters into the character, doing the accent. I'm doing the accent, and I filmed her, sent it to the director. He said, "Who is that?" I said, "Why?" He goes, "She's great. Would she do the role?" And I go, "Are you sure?" He goes, "Yeah." I go, "That's my mom." And he's like, "What?" And so she ended up doing the role, which is great. And it was a blast working with her in New Orleans. And it's called The Walk, Terrence Howard, and Justin Chadwick, great cast. And that comes out on June 10th.
Oh, man, right around the corner. Well, I'm definitely going to check that out. Again, The Creek in the Cave tonight and tomorrow. Jeremy Piven here. Just a couple last things for you, Jeremy, is one, you talk about you give him a little Ari Gold. I mean, what's the, as best as you can say on the radio, like what is the best Ari Gold line? Like what's the one quote that you still say in your daily life?
This is what's crazy is I can't even say him on the air. I respect you too much. You know what I mean?
Right.
I can't. Have you had so much blank squirted in your face that you can't see what's right in front of you? There better be a Scud missile heading towards us, Yoko, or I will choke you out with a strap on. I mean, there's so much I cannot say, sir.
You can't say anything. Why? I mean,
none of it.
Come on, man. And you know what though? Also, I'm not just saying this because you're on the air, but like I'm a fan of the podcast. How You Live in Jay Piven. Like I check it out. I'm a regular listener. I really enjoy it. Again, I think that there's so many things you can adapt from stand-up and from acting to make a podcast so enjoyable. But like, do you enjoy doing the show? Have you really kind of found your groove for that?
I love doing it because I just pick people who I'm fascinated by, and we just have long-form conversations, and it's been incredible. Everyone from Jamie Foxx and Tiffany Haddish. I just had Jay Williams on, who was talking, telling some pretty revealing stories about he had a relationship with KD, and it kind of blew up over him revealing some stuff that you have to listen to this episode that's up right now, but it's guys like Kevin Durant are fascinating to me because they're just these elite of the elite, and yet he's a human being, and he's sensitive, and he's real and wears his heart on his sleeve, and that's rare. And Jay unpacks some stuff about the two of them. And, I appreciate people being that honest with me on my podcast. It means the world to me because we learn about them. We learn about these athletes that we love, and we get to learn more about them.
And a lot of times you can only get those conversations when they're talking to somebody like you, somebody who they have a mutual admiration for, respect the craft, you respect them, and then you get these great stories, man. But hey, Jeremy, I appreciate you taking the time. Again, Jeremy Piven, The Creek in the Cave, tonight and tomorrow. If you're in the Austin area, make sure you go check him out. And just congratulations on all your success, man. 1,000 more years of it. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Same to you. Take care, brother.
You too. Jeremy Piven, everybody.
Thanks, brother.
Brad, what have you done now?